With the Detroit Lions not making a move for a pass rusher at the trade deadline, a lot of us were wondering, does Brad Holmes feel the same way we do when it comes to a lack of a pass rush? If you look at our pass rush, we have 18 out of our 21 sacks have come against abysmal quarterbacks, and the other 3 we've gathered over the 5 other games of the 8 in total we've played. And why I was disappointed, you saw it in the video, in the live stream. I was extremely disappointed in the lack of a move being made by Brad Holmes. I still think that we still need help at pass rush, but the trade deadline is over, and now we're looking to potentially a free agent as we take that playoff push, as we make that playoff push. Now, a lot of you guys want Ndamukong Suh. I don't really care for Ndamukong Suh like that. Plus, I believe that the last thing he would ever do on earth is come back here. He plays DT. I want a defensive end, and the pickings are slim. If you go through the free agent pool, the pickings are slim. But there is a guy who came out the other day. I was sick. I couldn't make this video, but I said when I got better, I had to talk about it, and that is Jason Pierre Paul. You already know from the thumbnail that this guy here is currently a free agent, spending last year with the Baltimore Ravens, and he wants to come play for a contender. And here's what he had to say coming from CBS Sports. Says, I've been training my butt off even though I'm not on the team. I've been looking at a lot of football lately, and I feel like I can still make a contender shift now. There are plenty of teams that still need a pass rush, so I'm waiting for that call. Now, a lot of guys, everyone knows what happened to Jason Pierre Paul several years ago with that fireworks accident where he went through what he went through, but he was still able to produce at a high level. And even though at 34 years old, just had a birthday November 1st, I think at this point, he would be awesome to bring in as a loaner. A lot of y'all worried about a Chase Young, and again, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell saying we're not going to bring somebody in that will mess up the culture and mess up the chemistry of this team. But when you look at Jason Pierre and you look at what he's bringing to the team, he brings that veteran leadership, spending many seasons. His first 7, 8 season with the New York Giants, then the next 4 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He did wind up getting 2 Super Bowls through his run. The 2011 Giants squad where they knocked off the New England Patriots. That might have been 2007 where they beat the undefeated Patriots, but they beat the Patriots both in 2007 and 2011. And then that 2020 team with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then he spent last year on the Baltimore Ravens and didn't do a lot. Played in 14 games, 3 sacks, and pretty much since he's been out of Tampa, I mean, his last 2 years are underwhelming, but the 3 before that are fantastic. And I'll tell you what, if we were able to bring in a guy that was able to give somebody to help Hutch out, like we said, Aleem McNeil, 4 sacks, Aiden Hutchinson, 4.5. So we don't have a defensive end that has even close to what Hutch has. I want to say Charles Harris is the closest defensive end. He might have one. Romeo might have one. Julian has one. So the only pure defensive end that we have, or defensive end period, with more than 2 sacks is Aiden Hutchinson. So Jason Pierre Paul, man, I'm telling you, I would love to bring this guy in on a loaner deal and have him help out the pass rush even at 34 years old. Here's the best part of this. In 2022, he got a base salary of $1 million, a signing bonus of $150,000. His cap hit was $1.1 million. And the Detroit Lions currently have just under $7 million on as far as their cap space. We could bring this guy in. It wouldn't hurt to bring him in. He can bring that veteran leadership, that championship experience. You got the New York, and I want to say in 2011, that's when the Giants were the 6th seed. So he's got that underdog, and they went all the way. So you got that. And then you have the pedigree from the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that I would love that he can bring in as well, right? So would he mess up the flow? I would say no. At this point, you have James Houston, who hasn't even got a timetable on when he's going to return. The closest we know is Dan Campbell said maybe by December. So Jason Pierre Paul, bring him in for a workout, sign him up, help us go on that run. Because right now we got the 2nd spot in the NFC, and I mean, the sky is the limit. I know some of y'all like, well, this isn't the year, and maybe next year, and a playoff win, a division title, a home game, all of that stuff is great. But I said this, and I'll say it again. The San Francisco 49ers went from the second worst team in the NFL to the Super Bowl. Why do we have to settle for just a playoff win or division title? Why can't we go for that first seed? If we go for the first seed, right? Not only do we only have to play 2 games to get in the Super Bowl, somewhere we've never been. So we have the easiest opponents. We face the lower schedule, the lower opposition. So we always face the lower seed heading into the conference championship. Then you get a week off. You get a bye week, so you have to play one less game. And then all roads go through Detroit. If you have the number 1 seed, you're playing your division round at Ford Field. You're playing the NFC title game at Ford Field. And next thing you know, you're in the Super Bowl, right? So I say if we can get somebody that can help us help our pass rush, take some pressure off Aiden. At this point, I feel like Jason Pierre Paul would be one of the best guys that we can bring in, and I would love it to Detroit. It would be cheap. It would be everything that you didn't want the trade deadline to be. It would be a cheap option, right? It would be a loaner. It would be all of those things, and it would help us because even if he gave us 3 sacks for 9 games, that's huge. That's 3 more sacks than we would have if we didn't have him, right? So I would love this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I forgot he was even out there when I looked at the list. Like, wow, forgot he's one in that Ndamukong Suh space where he's like, listen, call me up. I still want to play. Call me up. But unlike Ndamukong Suh, he never said, well, I'm just going to sit around and wait till week 12 or whatever. I believe he wanted to play from the very beginning. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also consider subscribing to the YouTube channel because again, YouTube wants to help creators get subscribers because they know that a lot of people watch the content on a regular basis, but they never subscribe. And they made this very subtle subscribe animation around. I don't know how much it's going to help, but that just tells you that more people, they're trying to encourage more people to subscribe to creators so they add it. And you can see it right now. When I say the word subscribe, you're going to see a rainbow type animation around the subscribe button. So consider doing so if you like Detroit Lions content. I'm going to be all over your timeline the next day or two because I got a lot of catching up to do. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below about Jason Pierre Paul. At this point, would not hurt the team at all. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.